What is going on, guys? Noah here with Custom RC Mods. Welcome back to a new video. Now today we're out at the park and I'm going to try to answer a question I get a lot down in the comments. That is, what is my favorite flight test plane? And this is not my end all be all favorite. I think there's a lot of different planes for a lot of different purposes, and every single one has a real reason to be in my fleet. But the FT Mustang today is one of my favorite flight test planes of all time, and we're going to go ahead and put it up in the air and I'll show you why. Alright guys, so before we get this thing up in the air, I want to be fair and show you guys what I'm running, because obviously if you're running a smaller motor or a different power setup, you might have different results. But we're running a Turnigy D2836-8 1100 kV motor with a Gemfan 10x7 prop, SG90 9-gram servos all around, the cheap kind that work well, and a Spectrum receiver on the inside. It's an AR6210. The foam board is the Adams Ready board, and the poster board is from Dollar Tree, if that really makes a difference. Alright, so we're up in the air, and first things first, guys. This thing is smooth, and that's one thing that I really like about it. And you'll notice that once you get it properly trimmed out, this thing is super easy to fly, and it's very, very dominant, even in some winds. I mean, it's very controllable all around. I feel like I can even do some pretty good turns just flat with my rudder, as well as, of course, bank and yank. This thing flies really well, but it really does like those coordinated turns as well for maximum scale flight. Now, up in the air, you can see it cruises around. It's a fairly slow airplane, and I'm only cruising around like a third throttle here, which is really, really nice to have. But you can see we still have some speed. This is a full speed pass. It's not crazy fast, and that is upwind. However, this thing is just so much fun to fly, and it has a very wide flight envelope. You can probably get a 35-36 motor or larger on here, like a Rimfire .15 motor. And you can go crazy with that thing, and this thing could probably go pretty fast, probably upwards of 50, 60, 70 miles per hour, depending on how you set it up and your prop combination. However, this thing, just on this Power Pack C spec setup, really flies good, and it's just super relaxing to fly, and it flies really, really controllable and scale. I have the Mini Mustang as well. I did a comparison video of the two a few weeks ago, but this thing is definitely the better flying out of the two, the more consistently flying out of the two. And if you guys are looking again for scale flight, this thing is definitely where you want to look for, because surprisingly, the faster you go will be when the smaller plane you have, the faster you will go. But this thing definitely has plenty of power, and I do think it has full vertical. Yeah, it definitely has full vertical on there, even with this, considerably small motor. Depending on what you want to put in it, it can hold a little bit bigger. Anyway, yeah, this thing is just really great. It's a great day for flying out today. Barely any wind, but this is the upwind direction. Of course, we're heading towards the east, so wind is blowing to the west. But yeah, this thing is just very smooth and respectable all around. Super happy with how it flies overall, and it's just, you tell it to do something and it will do it. It's not something that's hard to fly. I have fairly high rates on here. You can see that was about half throw aileron rolls there, and I'm just using a little bit of stick. But this thing does not take the turns too sharply. It does not tend to dive in the turns at all. It just flies really, really well. Give it a little bit of rudder input, and this thing flies nice and smooth, all coordinated just how we want it. So yeah, that's why I really like this plane here. Also, just more specs related things as we keep flying this airplane around here. It does obviously fly really well just because its foam board is nice and lightweight. If you guys are building with heavier foam board, just pair it with a bigger motor. I think the flight experience should be about the same. But this thing is also fairly durable for the size, usually as foam board builds go. I've experienced the larger build that you have, just the thinner the walls tend to be, of course, because the foam board is just a set 3/16 inch. So keep that in mind. But this one is fairly durable. There are a few double layer areas on the fuselage, as well as just with a power pod and things like that. So it is, I haven't really had any major crashes with this airplane as of yet, but it is a fairly consistent, durable airplane, and I've had it for about 4 months. I built it back in March, so yeah, it's been flying really good, and it has held up over time. Of course, I haven't crashed it that much, like I said, but seriously, in terms of build, this is a fairly easy build. Definitely could be your second airplane quite easily. I'd say, start off with a simple Scout or something like that, but then you can move to something like this, and you will have a very good experience with this airplane. So yeah, really do like it. And it, like I said, very easy to build. I'd say the hardest part is the turtle deck, getting that to come out smooth, but that's just a cosmetic thing that's not going to affect how it flies. So if it's just the first build, this could be something that's still going to fly really great. And it's fairly easy to build, like I said. So yeah, altogether, I just really like how this plane flies. And this is definitely the one in my fleet that's just so relaxing. And it's an enjoyable experience. It's not necessarily the fastest. It's not necessarily the most maneuverable. It does provide a very nice scale flying experience that is unmatched by any other foam board plane that I've had in my fleet, and that's why I love it so much. And once I crash this thing, or once it meets its demise or becomes obsolete or just kind of warps out of shape, then I will definitely be building another one, because this thing is just a really special plane. And there's my 5-minute timer. I can probably push it for another minute or so, but that's pretty much going to do it for this flight, guys. It's just such a nice flying plane. I don't even want to push it to full throttle, because it just feels so right to have it right at half throttle or a third throttle, just cruising around here. And it just makes these hot summer days, so much more fun, just to have a nice scale flying experience just like that. So the wind has picked up a little bit, but you can see this thing is not phased by that at all. It still performs very well compared to other larger airplanes. I know the P-40 did terrible in wind, and a lot of the airplanes in this class, the Warbirds or just the low wing planes that have a 40-inch wingspan like this one does, they definitely do not, tend to fare as well as this one does in the wind here. So if you guys live in a very windy location, then this thing is definitely gonna jump to the top of your build list, because it gives you that big plane flying experience without the sacrifice of controllability in the wind. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and bring it down for a landing now, and that's gonna end the video. Just like that. I don't have landing gear on it, and it's kind of dangerous to land it, but I find you just pull back on the stick. It has a very gentle stall characteristic, and you're good to go. So that's it for the video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.